them to hang around.
One hand, pretty teardrop there from Van Slyke.
You know, the really good teams are intrinsically motivated, and they find ways to get themselves going when it might seem boring.
One thing that's interesting, look at these two teams this year. They've played 3 identical opponents entering tonight's game. You look at UT Martin, Jackson State, and Wyoming. Both these two teams have played all 3.
Coach John Brady not very happy right now, as he hasn't been with some of those games in the past with the teams you talked about, but he has been happy with this guy, Melvin Johnson III. We mentioned he was the freshman of the year at the University of Texas San Antonio because he can shoot that basketball.
Johnson 2 for 3 from 3-point range. He has dropped exactly 4 3-pointers in all 3 games he's played in this season, and he has been a big part of the offense so far tonight for Coach Brady.
But as a defender, he's the type of guy that you like defending, because if you can get there on his shot and take that away, you don't really have to do a whole lot more. Now, we've seen Johnson III make one drive to the hoop earlier in the game, but he hasn't done a lot of that since.
Now, the Buffs have had a hard time defending the 3 this year, as opponents have made a minimum of 7 a game against Colorado. Of course, the 3 ball, a strong suit of Arkansas State so far this early season. Feed down low, Van Slyke. Once again, that pretty hook.
We knew Van Slyke was more of a perimeter player, but he has some skills down low, and now that 18-point lead.
2 to play, crossover, and contested underneath. That was Thomas on the try.
Now with just a 14-point lead, Arkansas State has a chance to make this thing seem competitive again.
King of the board, and fouled underneath. Well, Lamar, in the win on Saturday against Jackson State, Tad Boyle's Buffaloes had 7 men reach double figures. That was the most in the Tad Boyle era. You have to go back to 1973 to see a Colorado team that had 8 players in double figures. And already here tonight in the first half, 8 different Buffaloes to score.
Well, it's one of his deeper teams. And you and I spoke to him in his office prior to the game against Jackson State, and we talked about some of the talent that he's able to recruit now. A few years ago, Colorado was getting 2-star, 3-star guys, and they were lucky to get a 4-star guy. But now, you got a Spencer Dinwiddie, you have a Askia Booker, you have Andre Robertson, who's now in the NBA, Wesley Gordon, Josh Scott. You have a lot of guys who can play at a very high level. So now you spread the wealth quite a bit more, and I think they're a much better team when everybody's involved.
Awfully deep. King gets both. Now with just under 2 to play, Hopkins comes off the bench, as does Josh Scott. Dickerson guarded tight. Feed down low, and Van Slyke can't find the handle. And a reminder coming up on the State Farm halftime report of highlights from top 10 around men's basketball. Also, some high-level soccer being played here in Boulder. Highlights from that as well. Scott.
Yeah, that pick and roll being very good to the Buffs tonight. If I were them, I would continue to exploit Arkansas State's pick and roll defense.
3-pointer rattles out. Forward there by Fletcher. Here comes Booker. Booker, the 3. Too strong. The Buffaloes have cooled down a little bit from behind the arc since the early moments. Foul on the floor this time.
Right now, Arkansas State not doing a good job turning the guards back. You see Askia Booker able to turn that corner. The big guy might as well not have even stepped out. If you don't force the guard to turn back, you allow him to get to the middle of the court, and every offense is designed to somehow get to the middle of the court because it forces the defense to collapse, and you have guys like Josh Scott with a nice lefty finish.
And he finishes so well with either hand underneath the hoop. One good there from Johnson. Booker checks out. Here is Eli Stalzer off the bench for the first time. 14 points for Johnson. Make it 15. Under a minute to play here in the first half in Boulder. And the officials looking at the clock over by the scores table. There you can see some words from head coach John Brady, a former two-time SEC Coach of the Year. And Lamar, he really did some good things in Baton Rouge with LSU.
Yes, he did. LSU was a powerhouse. That was back when I was playing, and they were one of the schools that everybody respected around the country. Guys like Glenn Big Baby Davis, Stromile Swift.
The spin, a couple of spins, but instead a kick out. Stalzer, bounce pass. Scott. And a foul.
What got Colorado to look there is just a change of scenery. Getting the ball from one side of the court to the other side, it forces a defensive rotation. And you usually will find something good by throwing the ball down to Josh Scott.
First one good. Well, head coach John Brady saying before the game that defense and rebounding, something that his Red Wolves have really struggled with in the early goings. Scott heads to the pine. And back for the second time, here's Ben Mills.
Boy, this crowd loves when Ben Mills comes in the game, don't they? Hey, that could be a secret weapon. Whenever the Buffs are struggling in the game, just sub Mills in, let the crowd get back into the game.
15 to play. Under 10. Johnson, the drive, the kick out. Reed, the three. No good. 1 second. And that'll do it for the first half here in Colorado. Take a look at how the numbers are broken down and the Buffalo spreading things around. How about George King, the leading scorer for the Buffs? The freshman with career games so far this season. Well, the score at the half, it's Colorado 46, Arkansas State 28. After the break, we'll go to our Pac-12 Network studios for the State Farm halftime report with Ashley Adamson.
Same make, same model, same year. Different owners. Right now at Firestone Complete Auto Care, get $25 instant in-store savings with any maintenance or repair purchase of $100 or more. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
The Big Apple is Pac-12 territory.
Go Trojans! Right on! Go Cards! Woo! Go Team! Oregon State! Fight, fight, fight! Go Huskies! Go Cats! Go Utes! Go Bruins! Yeah! Go Jets! Go Devils! Go Devils! Go Cougs! Woo! Go Bucks!
The New York City Pac-12 Alumni Associations love the Pac-12 Network.
You hear that? That's the sound of car insurance companies these days. Here a cheap, there a cheap, everywhere a cheap. You get it. So what if instead of just a cheap choice, you could make a smart choice? Like Esurance, for example. They were born online and built to save people money from the beginning. It's what they've always done. Not just something they cheap about. That's insurance for the modern world. Esurance, now backed by Allstate. Click or call.
Hey, good evening, everyone. JB Long filling in for Ashley Adamson tonight inside our San Francisco studios with your State Farm halftime report. We will have you back out to Boulder in just a few minutes, but first a look around the top 10 in college basketball and action from tonight. Portland at number 1, Michigan State. In the first half, Alvin Ellis III to Keith Appling. Drains a 3. Spartans go into the half up by 4. To the second we go. Portland just hanging around, putting a scare into the Spartans. Bryce Presley hits Ryan Nicholas. Pilots down just 1. Game tied at 46. A bit later on in the half, Appling to Travis Trice. Catch and release, corner 3 to put the Spartans up by 3, 49-46. And then they begin to pull away. Appling to Matt Costello on the bullet pass. The Spartans do win 82-67. Appling had 25. UNC Asheville at number 6 Duke. There's Coach K. He's got 959 wins. As for Asheville's Nick McDevitt, only 958 behind. He's only in his first year. Jabari Parker from the corner there. He had 14 in the first half alone. Then it's Rodney Hood. He's a Mississippi State transfer. Up fake and the jam. Duke up 17, final minute first half. Rodney Hood sinks the 3 this time. He had 3 of those in the first half, and then in the second, Parker gets the steal and then gets it back from Quinn Cook. Duke wins 91-55. Parker with 21 points, 10 rebounds. Number 9, Syracuse playing host to St. Francis of Brooklyn. First half, Cuse leads by 3. DeJuan Coleman driving there. Syracuse up 30-26 at the break. Second half, we're tied at 46 until Ben Mockford hits the corner 3 to give St. Francis the lead. Still second half, Jeremy Grant gathers that offensive board to tie it at 50. Grant with the steal here, up to Michael Benaje, and that proved to be the game-sealing layup. Syracuse holds on barely, 56-50. And it's time for your State Farm Get to a Better State, and the conference announced its Basketball Player of the Week today, and it's none other than Oregon State's Roberto Nelson. Hard to argue with this, as he averaged 27.5 points and 7 assists, leading OSU to victories over Portland and Maryland. The win over Maryland, the Bees' first ever road win over an ACC squad. We've got more hoops in store for you tonight, 8 o'clock Pacific. Sac State in Los Angeles to take on Jordan Adams and the Bruins. That will be on Pac-12 Networks, and over on Pac-12 Bay Area, you can see Southern Utah in Berkeley to take on Jabari Bird and the Cal Bears. Up next, we'll check in to see how the Colorado women's soccer team fared in the NCAA tournament yesterday.
12 networks own the court. It's basketball West Coast style, and Pac-12 networks are your exclusive home court for all the action, with more games than anywhere else. 149 men's games, 101 women's games, a staggering 250 Pac-12 matchups. With studio shows, analysis, and interviews, we live Pac-12 basketball, from preseason to the tournaments, and everything in between. We cover the court like nowhere else, only on Pac-12 networks.
I'm Derek Webb, weak side linebacker from Memphis, Tennessee. Before my visit, I had never been here before. I came here in January. It was a beautiful place, snow on the ground, but it wasn't freezing cold. So I'm like, wow, it's not exactly what I expected. It's pretty nice. I can get used to this. And plus, I was greeted by a great team, pretty much accepted me right away, and I felt at home right away. So I said I had to come out here. I motivate our guys anytime I can, whether it's a big play or just working my butt off. Every time my teammates see me, I want them to see me working hard. You want people to see you doing the right things. You also want to encourage people to do the right things. You can't control a lot of things that happen on the outside, but one thing you can control is your attitude and your effort. Or you have to keep a positive attitude and keep grinding and see it all the way through. And, that's what being a part of this program has taught me.
Inside each of us, there's a spark. To push, to challenge, to lead, and create ideas that change everything. Reimagine, reinvent, rewrite the way you see the world. Achieve the unthinkable, solve the unsolvable, and create the unimaginable. Down the court, in the lab, above the earth, beside great minds, you will ignite, unleash, excel at the University of Colorado.
Pac-12 Halftime Report is brought to you by Quicken Loans for a mortgage experience that's engineered to amaze.
Here's one just for the C unit. Colorado women's soccer got revenge in the NCAA tournament against a Denver squad that beat them 3-0 earlier in the season. The Buffs join UCLA and Stanford as the three Pac-12 teams advancing to the round of 32. CU will travel to Tallahassee to take on BYU on Thursday.
But we're going to train just like I put on the itinerary, 11 a.m. tomorrow. If the weather's bad, we'll be in the bubble. If the weather's okay, we'll be outside. We'll start our running. It'll be very light. We'll train on Monday as well, okay? So we'll talk more about that. Recovery, okay? But big picture, okay? Just enjoy it.
Good stuff there. We also just announced our college football slate for this Saturday, 12:30. The Utes travel to Pullman to take on the Cougs. Mike Leach getting a contract extension today. Then at 6:30, the Trojans will look to keep rolling under Coach O as they head to Boulder to take on the Buffs. You know it as well as I do, coming off their first conference win of the year. Coverage starts at 11:30 with the Pac-12 pregame show. That'll do it from our San Francisco studios. Let's get you back out to Aaron Goldsmith and Lamar Hurd after this. Buffs leading the Red Wolves 46-28. Enjoy the game and roll Tide.
No such thing as no man's land to me. A man just needs a place where he can be wild and free. 10 calories.
Dr. Pepper 10, manliest low-calorie soda in the history of mankind. Bold flavor.
Yeah, I'm married. Doesn't matter. You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so.
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
At Kay Jewelers, we know that it's what's inside that counts, which is why in here you'll find Levion, the world's only chocolate diamond jewelry. The Open Hearts Collection by Jane Seymour. The Leo Diamond, the first diamond certified to be visibly brighter. Neil Lane Bridal, from Hollywood's premier jewelry designer. All this amazing jewelry and more in one place. Kay Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America.
Every kiss begins with K.
A new truck will go the extra mile to take care of the one you've got. And it could go the extra 100,000. Firestone Complete Auto Care. Keep your car running newer, longer. Firestone.
You guys know what this is like. Dr. Neuheisel, can you please explain?
I'm going with the Trojans. His offense is just going berserk. You're killing me, Matt. You really are. We're talking ball here.
Football Weekly, Wednesdays at 6 on Pac-12 Networks.
In order to make a champion, you need to have extremely tough-minded person.
You got to understand the work, the time, the effort, the sweat.
You try to have a culture within your program. Be really relentless in the pursuit to doing things right every day.
Spend the extra time necessary before practice, after practice, and really live and breathe basketball.
Putting your personal agendas aside for the good of the team, you can win championships.
State Farm halftime report continues from Boulder, where the Buffaloes have put up 46 points to tie a first half season high. Hi there again, Aaron Goldsmith alongside Lamar Hurd. And Lamar, Buffaloes a lot of offense, especially early on in the first half. What did you see that you liked from the Buffaloes?
I like the fact that they got defensive stops. Now, Arkansas State has played into their hands with only 2 guys scoring the basketball in the first half, but the Buffs have been in the right spots. They've been able to transition, get out, and get open looks and knock a lot of them down.
And offensively, Colorado has really spread things around. But how about George King, the true freshman, came into tonight having scored only 2 points as a season high. He led the Buffaloes at the half with 11 points.
He's playing with a chip on his shoulder for 2 reasons. One, he was a late recruit for the Buffs, so a lot of people didn't know about him. He still wants to impress Coach Tad Boyle. Another, Xavier Johnson out of the lineup. King is having a chance to play more minutes now and show why he should get more minutes as time goes on. He's making the most of it.
Buffalo is shooting nearly 50% from the field. They were red hot from behind the arc early on. They have cooled. They started out 5 for 7 from long distance and have since gone 1 for 8. And Lamar, this is something that we've talked about earlier. The Buffaloes are getting out to a big start in the game, but then having to watch out from that underdog creeping back. What do you expect in the second half?
Well, this is going to be the next phase of their maturation. Do they put this Arkansas State team away, or do they play around with them? A team like Arkansas State that shoots the three-pointer very well, you do not want to allow them to hang around in the game. I expect Colorado to come out with full intensity and end the game pretty early.
And really for Arkansas, it's only been a couple of players, just Johnson and Van Slyke, the only guys that they've had to defend. We're back here to Boulder as we wrap up the State Farm halftime report.
Next, men's hoops continue. UCLA's new high-flying offense takes on Sacramento State. Live coverage continues next on Pac-12 Networks.
Appreciate it, man. I'm a big fan.
Me too.
This one goes out to a couple friends of mine.
When cold refreshment calls, Coors Light answers. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
We always knew that when we had another baby, we would love it if I could stay home. The kids shape what we do. Everything's about them. So we had to make a lot of changes. Quick Balance is this really nice feature of the Bank of the West app. The more I check into my balance, the easier it is for me to stay on track. You don't even have to log in. Hold on tight. You're on call, 24/7. Every minute that the app saves me is a minute that I can spend with my family. And that means everything to me.
You hear that? That's the sound of car insurance companies these days. Here a cheap, there a cheap, everywhere a cheap. You get it. So what if instead of just a cheap choice, you could make a smart choice? Like Esurance, for example. They were born online and built to save people money from the beginning. It's what they've always done. Not just something they cheap about. That's insurance for the modern world. Esurance, now backed by Allstate. Click or call.
There's an extreme adrenaline rush. We probably have the best home court advantage in the conference, and we definitely have the greatest fans. I mean, the fans give you energy, they give you life. When you're down or you're making that run, you sustain that run just because they're feeding you and they're boosting you and they're holding you on their shoulders. There's nothing quite like the Buffaloes when they're ready to stampede. Go Buffs.
The Buffaloes looking to extend their winning streak to 4 in a row as they have a healthy lead over the Arkansas State Red Wolves. And you take a look at the first half. We talked about George King, a season-high 11 points, 2 for 2 from behind the arc. And Melvin Johnson, Lamar, it has been up to Spencer Dinwiddie to try to slow him down. It has not been easy.
It's going to have to be a team effort because he runs off a screen, so your big guys have to show when Dinwiddie's getting screened. Dinwiddie has to do a better job of trailing on Johnson III's outside hip because otherwise he's going to get stuck. And Johnson III, he's shown he shoots over 50% from the three-point line, so he might miss one, but he's probably not going to miss 2 in a row.
This Arkansas State ball club has been known for dropping a lot of threes so far this year. Tonight is their 4th game of the season. Meanwhile, the Buffaloes, their 5th, but the Red Wolves averaging, well, exactly 9 3-pointers in each of their first 3 games of the year, so they like to live from behind the arc for sure.
And you talked about George King, who had the big first half for the Buffaloes. That's what I call depth. You hear a lot of coaches refer to that term. And depth to me isn't having 7 or 8 guys that you can sub in. It's 7 or 8 guys that when I put them in, they're going to make an impact. And that's what Colorado has.
And really this time of year, a big time to try to get some of those younger players involved.
This is what every coach wishes for, that in a non-conference season, you can play with your rotations, try different lineups, throw lob passes from the three-point line or half court, as we saw them throw one to Hopkins against Jackson State, put the ball wherever by the rim for him. But try all these things out now so that when Pac-12 play starts, you already know what to expect.
Biggest lead of the night, 20, and that's the Buffs' third alley-oop in 2 games. It was Hopkins on the receiving end.
Dinwiddie just had a nice drive towards Hopkins' man, and the defender got caught watching. And Hopkins did what any smart player would do. Your defender turns, you run.
Nice under the basket baseline move there from Van Slyke, who was 15. Contact made.
Well, there goes Dinwiddie driving, and the play before he did the same thing, but he drove at his teammate's defender. And Melvin Johnson III just got stuck watching. I mean, I can't lie, I got stuck watching too, Aaron, as I know you did too, because that's a highlight.
Well, that really speaks to something that we've talked about regarding Dinwiddie. Someone who's known so much as a scorer, but can do so many other things that he makes his teammates better, doesn't he?
Somebody who has scored on only 2 made field goal attempts on every game so far this season, but still averaging double figures. That tells a story about how he can still find ways to score the basketball. He had 6 steals in his last game. Those led to assists, those led to momentum run type plays. He'll find ways to be effective.
Especially at the line. Red Wolves have a lot of ground to make up here in half number 2. Stutter step drive instead of kick out to Reed. And he gets the 3 to fall.
Well, that's their basketball. In the first half, we saw them doing a lot of east-west driving, side to side. That time they penetrate to the paint, force Colorado's defense to suck in, and a nice kick out led to a great shot.
Nice feed, and off the glass, no good. Tried to save it, watch out. Dinwiddie, the dish, and the finish. Scott underneath. That almost was a little bit like we saw in the first half, Lamar, where the Buffs were almost too unselfish, but this time it pays off. Lamar has gathered himself as he almost got run over.
I'm bouncing back. I'm bouncing back. Basketball is a physical game.
Almost had some contact made here on the broadcast bench.
Well, you're right, though. In that last possession for Colorado, they didn't overpass. They got close to it, but it's better, especially with that front line. Put the ball on the rim. Give Wesley Gordon and Josh Scott a chance to go rebound. Give Hopkins a chance to get a tip dunk off the rim.
Nice screen there from Scott. The pick and roll, the bounce pass. That's good.
The rotation's been coming too slow from Arkansas State. All night long, the pick and roll's been working for Colorado because nobody's covering that roll guy. You can't defend Josh Scott under the basket. You need to pick him up outside of the paint. Otherwise, it's too late.
That's 14 for Scott. 3 ball.
Can't get lazy. If you're the Buffs, you have to trail those screens.
Reed now 5 points. Last 2 times he's touched the ball. He's just the 3rd Red Wolves player to score tonight besides Van Slyke and Johnson. Entry pass down low. That's Gordon backing up Van Slyke. The kick out. And through the fingertips there of Hopkins.
All night long, Spencer Dinwiddie, first of all, he loves the pick and roll. Says it's his favorite play in basketball. You don't want to let him come off of that and not get the defensive rotation. They're going to get eaten up all night. And on the other side, Colorado cannot go under screens. Arkansas State, they shoot the 3-point shot. They want you to go underneath the screen because it gives them a second to gather.
Townsville, last year's leading scorer for the Red Wolves. Deep 2. And it's knocked down there by Washington. Washington, a former teammate of Van Slyke's at the University of Houston, both making their way to John Brady's group in Arkansas. Power dribble, hesitation, and he can't get it to fall. That was Gordon. Another 3. Too strong, Dinwiddie. And it's Gordon to control. Back to Dinwiddie.
They should push tempo here.
Booker for 3. Well, the Buffs have cooled down from long range since early on in the first half. 3-ball fall.
Melvin Johnson III makes it so difficult in transition. As a defender, you're used to running back to the paint and then going out to guard your man. But when it's Melvin Johnson III, to be exact, you have to locate him in transition because he will bury it.
guy's a pro, Herbie.
No doubt about it, Brent. A real gatekeeper.
Here's Kevin in the Nissan Sentra. Lamb to the slaughter.
Mom's baked cookies, but he'll be lucky to make it inside.
And here's the play. Ooh, Dad did not see this coming.
Now, if Kevin can just seize the opportunity.
He's seen it. It's all over. Nothing but daylight. Yes, I'd love a cookie.
Make a powerful first impression. The Nissan Sentra. Now get a $159 per month lease on a 2013 Nissan Sentra.
So you can get out of your element. So you can explore a new frontier and a different discipline. Get 2 times the points on travel and dining at restaurants from Chase Sapphire Preferred. So you can be inspired by great food once again. Chase Sapphire Preferred. So you can.
Here's to being one of one. A true one of a kind.
Arkansas State has outscored Colorado 16-7 here in half number 2. Lamar, they're on an 8-0 run. This is something we talked about at halftime, and what would be the mettle of the Buffaloes coming out in half number 2 to really put away the Red Wolves?
And I have to admit, I thought that they were going to do what they needed to do to put the Buffs away, but I did mention, Aaron, that if they allow this Arkansas State team a chance to shoot 3-point shots, which is what they like to do, and if Arkansas State was able to knock some down, then they would play with a lot of confidence, because to them, they're executing their game plan. So the one thing that Colorado needed to take away from Arkansas State, they didn't.
So the lead has really been cut into by the Red Wolves. Booker looking for Dinwiddie, trying to get it in down low, and he does to Scotts.
And now you see they're playing with the extra pep in their step defensively.
Scott, a nice spin, and he gets it to go. Scott with 16.
A pep in your step is going to help you with that move. That's just a nice move. Scott went right until the defender cut him off, and a nice spin. No help defense. That's going to be an easy finish for him all night long.
Washington on the block. The kick around. Deep 3.
Now they're confident.
Brandon Reed heating up. He went 0 for 5 in the first half.
Look, here's the good news. You know they're a shooting team. Get in them and force them to put the ball on the floor. Right now, a lot of standing. Everybody's standing.
King trying to work off a screen. 10 to shoot. Booker penetrating. A couple of head fakes. Red Wolves have it. Ball stripped away from Johnson, and Booker has it.
Not that that's the results you'll get every time when you make them put the ball on the floor, but you'd rather do that than let them catch and shoot.
In and out of the 2. That was Thomas out the attempt. Johnson, and he's fouled. Now Josh Scott has had himself a nice night so far. 11 points on Saturday. And Scott already with 16 here tonight.
Anyone can fall in love with a brand new car. But keeping that flame burning for over a decade, that is a beautiful thing. Right now at Firestone Complete Auto Care, when you buy 3 select Firestone Affinity Touring tires, you'll get the 4th tire free. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
There are those who think basketball is just a game. But in the Pac-12, basketball is a legacy. Here, every team a descendant of the icons that walked the court before them. This is our blueprint for excellence. The sky's the limit as new legacies are born and championships won. This is the Pac-12, the Conference of Champions.
Let's go, D. Eyes up. Go. Getting off the ball, we just got to be more consistent.
The Drive, Wednesday at 7 on Pac-12 Networks. Tuesday night is Hoops Night with a big doubleheader on the Pac-12 Networks. At 6, Jonathan Lloyd and the high-flying Oregon Ducks take on Utah Valley. Then at 8, Andy Enfield and the USC Trojans host Cal State Fullerton. Pac-12 basketball. Live coverage starts Tuesday at 6 on Pac-12 Networks.
Pac-12 basketball is brought to you by Esurance, now offering savings for Pac-12 students and alumni. Find out more at esurance.com/Pac-12. And by Quicken Loans for a mortgage experience that's engineered to amaze. Arkansas State really nipping at the Buffalo's heels right now, 55-47 after a commanding first half lead. We take a look at the Pac-12 weekend heroes. And Lamar, I know Roberto Nelson, someone you're a big fan of.
Yeah, I was calling him the best scorer that no one's heard of, and I've been saying that for a while. He led the conference in scoring in conference games last season, and everybody's heard of him now after that big game against Maryland. Devon Collier as well. And Chasson Randall in a game that didn't get a lot of notoriety yesterday, but Stanford was on the ropes at halftime to Denver, and Randall really stepped it up and helped lead his team to victory, which is it's good to see for Randall. He and Aaron Bright, the Stanford guard, struggled last year. Similar to how Skia Booker and Spencer Dinwiddie have struggled from the field, other than Booker's last game against Jackson State at the start of this season.
You're right, that game on Saturday for Booker, season high 15 points. Johnson can't get into the ball. Last touch makes it Buffalo's ball.
Those are two huge free throw misses. Johnson had the chance to make this a 6-point game. After a few minutes ago, it seemed like Arkansas State wasn't going to have a chance.
You take a look at some big differences from the floor in the first half of the second for Arkansas State. The Red Wolves shot beneath 30% from the floor in half number one. They are 7 for 8 in the second half. Nice spin, but Van Slyke gets a piece. And that sends Wesley Gordon to the line.
There's Colorado going to their advantage. You see the height advantage there that Gordon has. Pound it in there, make them double team and play out of that. But you talked about Arkansas State and the difference in the second half. First half, they had 8 made field goals and 8 turnovers. This half, taking care of the basketball, 7 made field goals and only 1 turnover. And in addition to that, Brandon Reed, who didn't score a point in the first half, now has 12.
That's a season high. Gordon good on his second. On Saturday, Gordon made 6 of his 10 points from the free throw line. Every possession really counting here for the Red Wolves. Trying to use some momentum. Reed doesn't draw iron. And they'll let him know about it.
Coach Brady and his staff were not happy about that attempt.
Talton off the screen. Driving Talton, the floater.
If I'm Colorado, I go pick and roll every possession for the rest of the game until an adjustment is made. Arkansas State not doing a good job hedging. They're not doing a good job recovering. They're not doing a good job defensive rotating.
It's been such an effective play so far in this game for the Buffaloes. Take a look at John Brady in his 4th season in Jonesboro with Arkansas State. We mentioned earlier, a 2-time SEC Coach of the Year. He really turned around LSU's program. Lamar, that's something that I know you are well aware of. As LSU had suffered 4 straight losing seasons, and then in Brady's 3rd year in Baton Rouge, the Tigers went 28-6. They won the SEC championship, and they went on to the Sweet 16.
He knows what he's doing. He knows how to recruit. It's evident by the players at Arkansas State, the guys who have transferred in order to play for him. We talked about Brandon Reed a few minutes ago, who was the freshman of the year in the Sun Belt, ended up going to Georgia Tech, then decided to come back to Arkansas State to finish his career under John Brady.
Last year, 19-12. Red Wolves finished first in the Sun Belt. Those 19 wins were the most in Coach Brady's 5 years, and most for Arkansas State since going 20-9 in the 97-98 season, so it had been a while. Johnson, contact, and it drops. Buffalo's struggling to find a defensive answer to Melvin Johnson III.
He's a tough cover. That time Dinwiddie's there on the catch, but Wesley Gordon playing pick and roll defense the way we've seen Arkansas State play, where they're not turning that guard back to allow the point guard defender, which was Dinwiddie, a chance to get back in front of the basketball.
And how tough is that, Lamar, when you have a guy like Johnson who can spot it up from three-point range, and here we see him slash, draw contact, and still get the finish.
That's why if you can shoot the basketball, you're going to have a chance to play at various levels, because there will always be a spot for you. You could be useful even if you're not making the shot, because you'll be respected.
Johnson gets it knocked away by Dinwiddie, controlled by the Buffs. Off the glass, Dinwiddie going with the right hand.
But that time Dinwiddie was there on the catch of Johnson, who we just talked about. He's so respected when he catches the basketball. He lost it out of his hands, and Wesley Gordon there for the steal. Dinwiddie still with only 2 field goals.
Well, and maybe even more surprising than that, since 2 field goals unfortunately has been a trend for Dinwiddie so far this season, exactly 2 each of his first 4 games, but has not been to the free throw line very much tonight. This really just his second time. The free throws have been such a big part of his game. In fact, entering tonight, 30 of Dinwiddie's 49 points had come from the stripe, over 60%. He was leading the Pac-12 in free throw attempts.
Yeah, very interesting. Both Dinwiddie and Scott have made more free throws, with 30 for Dinwiddie, now 32, 21 for Scott, than any Arkansas State player has even attempted.
How about that? Clean block there by Gordon. And some new men coming off the bench.
He played with one of the conference's best at this last season, Andre Robertson. Good shot blockers allow the offensive player to shoot the ball first, and then they go up and get it.
Entry pass down low. Johnson, a tough fadeaway. My goodness.
If he's making that, then you got to live with it. That's just a tough shot. You can't do anything about that. A fadeaway, a 6'4", 6'5".
Johnson has been practically unstoppable. Contact drawn, and Gordon gets it to go through.
I mean, Hopkins did what he needed to do. He's there on the closeout, just a bad little going for the fake at the end of that. And Melvin Johnson III, season high 23 points. And yeah, Wesley Gordon answered on the other end. Some basket trading going on. One of these teams is going to have to put together a string of stops.
Townsville directed some traffic, lost his dribble. The feed down low to Washington. Been pretty quiet offensively. And the board there by Gordon. Here comes Hopkins into the front court. Booker looking low. Scott, one bounce up and a clean block.
That's great help defense.
Scott have been 6 for 6 on the night from the floor. Baseline drive, dish, the kick out. 3-second violation against Arkansas State. And this one's got it a little closer.
We don't have an alarm clock at all. The kids are the alarm clock. We have 4 boys.
He wanted 5. Busy might be an understatement.
Between the kids, work, we have to stay on top of our finances.
We put away for college, retirement.
There's always something you can spend money on, but you really have to pace yourself. The Bank of the West app with Quick Balance is amazing for that.
I don't see us slowing down anytime soon. And with the Bank of the West,